Top of the morning. Welcome to the Winning Network. I'm your coach. I'm your winning coach, Kinsley Jordan. We got a minute 30 seconds. You can share this. Welcome to Winnin in the Morning. Good to have you. We're going to be talking about growth mindset versus fixed mindset today. Which one do you have? Join us. Feel free to share this along. You watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, anywhere you are, anywhere you're interested in. Share this with your friends. Encouragement coming up right here in the Winning Network. Your winning coach, Kinsley Jordan, talking winning mindset, or also known as growth mindset, versus that negative fixed mindset. Which one do you got? Come on, join us. We're just getting started right here. The Winning Network, your winning coach, Kinsley Jordan, and I could not be more excited to be with you this morning because we're talking about one of my favorite topics ever. Literally one of my favorite topics ever. Talking about a growth mindset. Yeah, 7:10 local Central Standard Time. We got a little bit of snow here in Oklahoma. If you're out there driving this morning, be safe, be encouraged. If you're not driving, snuggle up, be a little bit cozy. But today we're diving literally straight into this principle that is so incredibly important. So incredibly important. It's this idea of having a growing perspective, a growing mindset, a growing attitude, versus having this fixed kind of just like toxic mindset. Now, I know people are going to say, toxic. I don't know about that. I don't know that I'm necessarily toxic. Well, guess what? It happens. Sometimes we are toxic. Good morning, Christina. Good to see you. You can literally leave your comment. I want to hear from you this morning as we're talking through this growth mindset, being encouraged right now, winning in the morning with your winning coach. Christina Matthews, top of the morning. Leave your comment in the comment section below. Or if you want to join me live right now, you can literally do that. You can actually do that. Just message me on Facebook. I'll send you a link that you can join. Or if you're not interested in that, you can actually call into the show as well this morning, as we are talking about a growth mindset, how to be growth minded, how to have a mindset where you are not limited in what you have been doing and who you are, but instead you have this ability to be able to look at where you want to go and what you want to do and be growing each and every day. How important is that? So don't hesitate. Leave your comment in the section below, wherever you're watching from, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever that is. Also, if you're interested in calling in instead, here's the good news. You can actually call. You can call in. Let me give you the number real quick. Oh my gosh, I don't have it. I'll pull it up here in a second. But as we're talking about this growth mindset, we're going to kick off with this little video that we found. It's actually from one of the people that we've partnered with, which is pretty awesome, over at Sprouts on YouTube. So a little animated video that talks about the difference, just to be able to comparatively show you the difference of what a growth mindset is versus a fixed or limiting belief mindset. And this is really important because one of the things I didn't realize specifically in my life was this. I had no idea at all for the longest time that a lot of the mindset, a lot of the attitude that I had about myself, about what I was doing, about how I thought I wanted to grow, about how I thought what I was working towards, I had no idea that I had so much toxicity in my own mindset towards myself, towards my own ideas. I had no idea until you actually have the chance to look at it and see it for what it is and say, you know what, like maybe I need to grow. Maybe I need to have this different attitude. But you don't know if you're not able to compare the two. You just have no idea. Sometimes we don't recognize those things about ourselves. So here's the hard part this morning. I'm going to ask you to be honest with yourself. This is part of growth. This is what we do at the Winning Network. This is what we do in challenging, asking the hard questions. Is, are you going to recognize which one you have this morning, and then what are you going to do to be able to fix it? Because in some areas of our life, we can be growth minded. And I'm going to show the video. I won't delay it anymore. Let's just go literally straight over to the video so that you can see what that looks like, what that is. Here we go.
To learn, and one that avoids them, often out of fear to fail. People that avoid conflicts can be described as having a fixed mindset. Those who see problems as interesting challenges have a growth mindset. Sometimes we like to switch from one to the other. People have a fixed mindset because they believe that basic qualities like intelligence or talents are fixed traits, and that these traits are responsible for success. They often like to document past achievements. With a growth mindset, people believe that new abilities can be developed through practice. This view creates the love for learning that most great leaders and artists have in common. For them, life becomes an exciting journey with endless opportunity to figure out new things and advance. To develop a growth mindset, Dr. Carol Dweck, the Stanford University professor who coined the term, advises leaders, teachers, and parents to celebrate trying. Teachers should applaud students for any grade if they studied hard. Parents should encourage their children to develop any new skill they are interested in. Doing this will make them learn the skill of learning, which will also help them back in the classroom. To illustrate the difference in everyday life, let's observe two imaginary kids. Jay thinks you've either got it or you haven't. Anne knows that she can learn anything if she wants it enough. At physical exercise, Jay avoids challenges. When it's time to jump over the vaulting horse, he's afraid to look stupid and be laughed at. Anne embraces any challenge. It's exciting, it's fun. She knows that failing is part of learning, and if she tries hard, at the end, nobody will laugh at her. Jay avoids feedback. If the teacher tells him how to improve an assignment he has been working on, he takes it personally. Anne knows that to improve, she needs to listen to constructive criticism. She also understands that it's not her that is being assessed, but the results of her work on that one day. Jay always takes the easy road. For example, he likes escalators and hates to take the stairs. When he is practicing the guitar, he stops the moment he's getting stuck. Anne usually doesn't even take escalators. She jumps up the stairs, counts every step in her head, and enjoys feeling the blood rushing through her veins. She practices the drums every morning for 15 minutes. Not that she always enjoys it, but she knows that effort is part of a journey to a more fun life. Anne likes to see others succeed. It inspires her. She knows that if she motivates her friends to get better, she herself is likely to grow too. If his friends try new things and succeed, Jay feels threatened. He's afraid that their success will put pressure on him to do more with his life too. Modern companies look for employees with a growth mindset because they solve problems and persist despite obstacles. To spot the right ones, some ask during the interview whether the job applicant believes if managers are born or if management is a skill learned. Jay thinks that managers are born. Anne gets the job. Neuroscientists support the idea. They confirm that the brain grows like any other muscle in the body, with training. Studies show that adopted twins tend to have higher intelligence compared to their siblings who stayed with their biological parents. The difference appears to come from the higher educational levels of adoptive parents and shows that nurture is more important than nature.
Right there. That's a good point.
A simple switch in how a person views a situation can mean the world of difference. Not just the outcome of that situation, the outcome of that person's place in life. As the late poet Samuel Beckett once said, "Ever tried? Ever failed? No matter. Try again. Fail better." What do you think about the concept? Is it overly simplistic? And if you buy the idea, do you believe it is possible to make a permanent switch from a fixed to a growth mindset?
Yeah.
Please share your thoughts in the comment section below.
Do it. You know, when we think about that, and this is, gosh, dude, this is such an incredibly good point. And literally right now, you can call us. If you want to join us live right now, you can call us 580-366-1484. Join us in the winning in the morning right here with Kinsley Jordan, your winning coach. You know, this thought of what does it take to be able to make this mental shift. You know, Christina had left a comment which I thought was really, really good on here, because a lot of times we don't think about this. Positive results come from growth, a growth mindset, and working towards a goal. So incredibly, that is so true, because if you don't know what it is, if you don't have a mindset that allows you to look at things as an opportunity and as a challenge and something that you can learn from and something you can grow from, then you're not going to. We are always going to be looking at things almost from a negative perspective, almost from a lack perspective. Because I think you've heard me say it several times before, but I'll say it one more time. Failure, one of the things I've learned in being in the innovation space for the Air Force. Has been my job for the last several years, helping the Air Force to grow in this concept of innovation and how do we help ourselves to solve our own problems? How do we take those steps? One of the things we've seen many times is sometimes our culture can create an environment that says don't fail. Sometimes our culture can create an environment that almost makes it risky, almost makes it scary, almost makes it this thing where it's like, oh my gosh, don't do that, because if you do that, you're going to get recognized and maybe not in a good light. What if it fails? But in that process of what that looks like, the process of doing that, if we don't take the opportunity to grow, if we don't take the opportunity to create this space for us to be able to step into a new mindset, not even just a new mindset, but if we don't create this space that allows us to make mistakes, to be able to maybe in our own personal life, then we are actually limiting the potential growth that we could have. And the reason why I say that is very easily some of the things we saw even as we were growing out what pilot training looked like in the Air Force and some of the results we were seeing. One of the things we saw is those who succeeded as we started doing kind of more of accelerated, like choose your own adventure type training. Some of the things we saw is those that were willing to take risks, those that were willing to try something they'd never tried before, those who were willing to take a new risk and cross a new boundary and do something bold and almost scary, those who were willing to do that had more likelihood to accelerate and reach their goal faster and go farther than those who were not willing to do it. In fact, those who limited themselves to only what they could see was the next logical step, instead of taking these, I don't want to say these radical risks, but instead of taking these steps to say, you know what, this is a little bit risky. I've never done this before, but I'm going to give it a shot. When you have a growth mindset, you're not afraid of failure, because failure becomes an opportunity for you to learn a greater lesson that makes you stronger. In our lives, so many times, we look at our life on the day-to-day as though it is a no-fail option. Like, we cannot fail. If I fail, if I don't succeed, if I try this, then I'm going to be impacted. You know, what's going to happen to my job? What are people going to think about me? What's going to be the onset of what comes next? And it's as though we look day to day and we only take the risk. We only do the things that in our mind we think we can guarantee results from. In doing that, we are inherently limiting the growth, limiting our ability. That's calling it the limiting mindset. We're limiting our ability to actually see the results that we want to see. So what we do is we stay in this place of comfort. We stay in this place of what we know. We stay in this place of doing the same thing over and over and over again. And we do it over and over and over again. And then a couple years later, we get down the road and we're looking at ourselves saying, gosh, I'm so frustrated because I haven't seen the growth that I wanted. I haven't gotten to the results that I want to get to. I'm still doing the same thing that I have been doing, and I want to see something different. I want to do something different. That ability to step into that new place is not by what is forced upon us by the outside, but it happens because we literally step into a new mindset of how we engage with ourselves and what we're willing to do. And creating the space for us to be able to fail. So there's one more video I want to show you real quick. Simon Sinek, we talked to him yesterday. Simon Sinek talking again specifically really about this mindset and how to be able to help not only yourself, but how to be able to help people with this growth mindset. Here it is. Let's go over to it.
Depending on the size of the organization, obviously, it's very common that other team members will go to the leader and say, we don't want to work with that person. I mean, that's usually a big highlight, you know. That's frequent. You can tell in meetings very often if somebody is domineering. But I'm also a great fan of peer reviews, quite frankly. The Army Rangers dealt with this. They called them Spotlight Rangers. When candidates were going to Ranger School, they had to, in the past, they had this issue where these very talented Ranger candidates and the instructors loved them. So they looked like they were great candidates. The problem is as soon as the spotlight was turned off, they were horrible people. So leadership didn't know. And so they implemented peer reviews. So now you have to be good at your job, your instructor has to like you, and your colleagues have to like you. And by like I mean respect, and you're seen as a team player and help each other out. So if all you're doing is reviewing annually someone's performance, that's insufficient. There needs to be regular feedback mechanisms, and there needs to be an open dialogue and peer review, 360 review, where you all come into a room and you get to give each other feedback in real time. But yeah, it's probably because there aren't enough metrics. We can't force people. The old joke, how many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? One, but the light bulb has to really want to change. 3 of you have kids. So they have to want it, because if they're resistant to it, it's not going to work out. And so having those conversations all about growth, which is you want to create a growth mindset in the organization, which was we're all here to be better versions of ourselves. So I'll go back to that 360 technique that we've used. We take a team, it could be 2 people, it could be 10 people, it doesn't matter. 10 probably would be too many, but just because it would take forever. And what you do is you have everybody write on a piece of paper 3 things that they believe are their weaknesses or the places that they need more growth. 3 specific examples. They have to be specific examples. Then they write 3 of their biggest strengths or things that they believe they've grown the most. Again, 3 specific examples. And then all the answers are collated and shared amongst the team so everybody can read them. Then you come into a room together and you take turns, where first you read your biggest 3 weaknesses, and then everyone in the room can add to it. And we give a little speech before we do this, which is we come together and do this because we're trying to help each other grow. And we all have blind spots. We all have things that we don't understand or don't see. Sometimes we don't realize how we're coming across. And so the people in your teammates are going to tell you things that's very uncomfortable for them to tell you. They don't want to do this. They would rather not do this. But they're going to do this.
This is hard.
Because they want to help you grow. And so the only thing, because we all take turns, the only thing you're allowed to say is thank you. You can't ask questions, you can't push back, you can't justify, you can't react. You can just say thank you. And if you go, thank you, we shut that down pretty quickly. And the reason you say thank you is because I need to know this. Our rule is that if you have an emotional response, if you get angry or you get annoyed, it's probably true. If you have no reaction, you don't have to, if they're just like, no, that's not me, then you can ignore it and you can say thank you.
Yeah.
But if you have an emotional response, it's probably true. And we go around, and it's an amazing space, because I think I have an open door policy. I think I'm approachable, but turns out I'm not as much as I like to think I am. And so in this environment, the most junior person on our team had an opportunity to tell me that there's something that I do that makes their job more difficult. I didn't know that. And she was very nervous to tell me, but this was a safe space in which she could.
Wow. 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 That's that ability right there, to be able to look at yourself, look internally at yourself, to be able to look internally at yourself and say, what is it? What is it that I'm missing? What is it that I'm not seeing? What is it that I need to have this different perspective? I need to have this different mindset, but what is it that I'm missing? And opening yourself to that ability to be able to hear this feedback, oh, man, it's not just that it's important, but it's literally critical. It's critical to your growth. It's critical to your ability to be able to expand out and step into the things you want to. Because again, remember the very first video we watched, which specifically was talking about the difference between the growth mindset and a limiting mindset. That ability to be able to recognize what that is and what that looks like, that ability to be able to recognize and be excited about growth and not see feedback as a critical thing. And again, you've heard me say this, but I don't personally believe in critical, people say, oh yeah, it's constructive criticism. I think that's the dumbest thing ever. You can't criticize and encourage and build somebody up at the same thing. If you criticize, it literally means to cut down. You are cutting down at something or showing a weakness or showing a gap that's there. So I personally believe all feedback is good feedback, as long as you are in a growth mindset to be able to receive it. As long as you're in a place where you can look at that and you can say, you know what? Like, I do want to grow. I do want to expand. I do want to see what it is that other people are seeing. And I do want to see that where what I'm maybe missing. Again, I want to hear your comments this morning, comment section, wherever you're watching from. Literally go to the comment section, throw in there. Let me know if this is useful. Let me know what your thoughts are, and tell me, do you think you have a limiting belief? Do you think you have a growth mindset, a growth belief? Where are you at with that mindset? Again, right now, you can join us live. We're winning in the morning right here on the Winning Network. You're a winning coach. A lot of winning there. You can call us 580-366-1484. Love to bring you into the call right now. Don't hesitate. Don't be afraid. It's fine. It's totally fine. We'd love to be able to have you with us. As we do talk about this, we do think about this, asking yourself that question. I'll go back to what I was just saying a second ago. When you have this growth mindset, when you have this mindset of say, you know what, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to look at who I am. I'm not afraid to hear this information. I had a conversation yesterday. Oh, Evan, top of the morning to you. Boom, there it is. Comment. It says growth mindset for gorillas. It's oh, it's true, man. It's true. Silverback gorillas over here. We're not worried about anything. When you do have a growth mindset, there was a conversation I had yesterday. Actually, it was within this last week. I won't point it out to anybody, but it was within this last week. Specifically, we were talking about this one situation, and as an organization, we had a fail in an area. We had a failure, a ball got dropped, something didn't get contacted that should have been contacted, and it fell through the crack. And it left this space, it left this kind of chasm for somebody to take something very poorly and to have really missed an opportunity with somebody. So as we were looking at what it was, the individual that essentially brought it up and recognized, hey, we have a failure in this area, they were bringing it up. And we're bringing it up and speaking to it as though it was a fault or a challenge of the organization that, hey, we didn't have the structure in place. We really need to think about the structure. What are we going to do about this? How are we going to fix it? One of the things that is really challenging sometimes is sometimes the things we recognize that are broken are things that we actually have the ability to control and impact. They're the things that we have the ability to change innately to ourselves right then, right in the moment. So it was really interesting to me because as we started talking through the challenge of what the deficiency area we had was, the more that it was described, we started walking through the process and actually showed the area that was there. And as the system that was there, and as we started looking at the system, we realized the system is actually in place and everything was working exactly as it should have been. The only thing that was missing was that the person that had the responsibility to check on that system didn't know that they were supposed to be checking on. They didn't know that ability, one, was there, and two, they didn't, I guess, maybe realize that it was their responsibility to do that. But as we were talking about it, at the moment that this realization happened, it didn't become contentious, but it almost became almost deflective to the point where I was like, well, we just need to make sure we get this thing covered because we have to make sure that this area is growing, or we have to make sure that we're not dropping any balls in these areas. But the thing that was really interesting to me is that everybody that was around that table had the ability. Everybody that was around that table had the ability to impact what that system was, but it took somebody to take ownership and realize that the thing that was broken was also their responsibility. Here's the hard part about having a growth mindset. Here's the hard part about having this growing attitude of saying, you know what, if we fail, that's okay. We're not going to stop. We're going to learn from it, and it's actually going to make us stronger. Is you have to be willing to be transparent, and you have to be willing to actually work on the things that maybe hurt. You have to be willing to work on the things that are going to be embarrassing. You have to be willing to work on the things that aren't fun to address. You have to be willing to accept when something is actually your fault. You have to be willing to look at that and say, you know what, I do have a fault. If we don't look at that ability, if we don't look at that and say, you know what, I do want to grow, and not only do I want to grow, but I need to be able to recognize that maybe I do have a part to play in this, and maybe there is something that I need to do to grow in this area. That is so incredibly critical to being able to step out and actually see results that we've never seen before. Here's the hard part. One of the questions I want you to ask today. Again, you can call us right now, 580-366-1484. I don't know why nobody ever takes me up on this offer. Everybody's afraid. So if there's somebody who's gutsy enough out there, call me right now. Literally, you can call me. I'd love to bring you on the air. It's going to be your voice. It's not going to be your face. If you want to join me on the Winning Morning right now, you can also hit me up on Facebook. Send me a message. I'd love to be able to see it. You can, if you're on YouTube, you can throw it in the comment section. I'll see it or reach out to you. Send you the link. Would love to have you join us this morning. But the thing that I want you to ask yourself right now is this: does it make sense? Does it make sense to continue staying in a place that continues to get us the same results? Does it make sense to only stay in a place where we know exactly what the result is going to be, but we also limit ourselves in being able to grow? We also limit ourselves in what we're going to be able to do. Does it make sense to stay in that spot? Does it make sense to stay there? So many times we do stay in that place. So many times we do stay in that mindset. So many times we do stay in the same results. And I realize people can say, my gosh, man, like you talk about this all the time. Well, we talk about it all the time because the greatest growth you will ever have is the growth that you didn't know you needed, but you so desperately needed in your life. That growth is critical beyond anything you can imagine, because when you realize that you had an area of deficiency, when you finally realize that you have the chance to be able to grow, that's when you, no kidding, really start to see the benefits and the ability to expand in the areas that you didn't even know were possible. That's when you, no kidding, really start to see growth beyond anything that you'd ever imagined, because for the simple reason that when you do step into that and you allow yourself to be transparent, and you allow yourself to be not only just transparent, but you allow yourself to be honest with where you're at and what's actually going on. When you open that ability up, when you allow that transparency to be there, you're not only changing yourself, you're literally changing the organization you're part of. You're not only changing yourself, you're literally changing everyone around you in that organization. When you allow yourself to be transparent in the situation that you're in, you literally change everybody around you, because everybody sees that. Everybody sees who you are and what you're doing. Everybody sees that ability. We have some comments that I'm going to get to you here that I want to be able to bring up here in just a second, which are really awesome. But I want you to ask yourself this morning. Are you actually in a place in your life? Are you actually in a place where you want to see this growth and start asking these hard questions? Or, if you're going to be 100% honest, is it easier to stay in the place that we've always been? If I was going to be 100% honest with myself, I've spent more time being comfortable than I have stepping into the places that I need to step into in order to be able to grow. I spent more time being in a place in my life sticking to what I know instead of stepping out into what I need to learn. But I get it. I understand. It's a scary thing. It can be really, really challenging. And that's why I bring this up today with you specifically, is because this is so incredibly important that we grab hold of this growth mindset, that we grab hold of this ability for us to not look at failure as something we fear, but instead as something that we're ready to step out into and step out and actually do and try. So we got several comments that I want to be able to throw up there. Christina Matthews, man, she's just killing it this morning. Christina with us. Christina, you might as well just just call in right now, 580-366-1484, because you got a lot to say today. Would love to be able to hear from you. Again, she says, I appreciate when someone points out an area in my life where I need to grow, because then I can work on it. It's so incredibly true. This growth doesn't have to be painful. It also doesn't have to be something that's scary. It just has to be something we're willing to address and something we're willing to step out into. Here's the deal. This having a growth mindset, being growth minded, is an intentional process. It is not something that accidentally happens. It is not something that you are innately born with. It is not something that you wake up one morning and then suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna really strive to grow in the areas of my life. It doesn't just happen. It has to be something that you intentionally want to look at and intentionally want to grow. This is why Tuesday, when you join us for the Tuesday Winnin in the Morning show, this is why we talked about the intentionality of your actions and of your day. If you're not intentionally taking actions in the morning, then we're just being a passenger of our entire day and our entire experience. If we're not intentionally saying, I'm going to do this today, I'm going to accomplish this, I'm going to contact this person for this reason, for this expected outcome, if we are not intentional with the time that we have, then we're not going to get intentionally created results. We are literally going to be a passenger on a roller coaster along for the ride. Now, that's one thing if you know where the track is. It's one thing if you know exactly how everything ends and what that looks like. Because you hop on a roller coaster, you know it's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go around, and then it's going to bring me back to the spot. But in the roller coaster of life, you literally don't know where it's going to go or how it's going to end. So why would you succumb to being a passenger of a ride that you don't know where it goes? That doesn't make any sense. What does make sense is being intentional with the time that we have, being intentional with the thoughts that we have, being intentional with asking these hard questions of growing. Chris, if only the children were sleeping. Okay, all right, fine. Okay, fine. You know what? You call me, you put them on the phone too. Oh man, that's funny. This only happens if you intentionally and truly think about and take the time to process and think this out. Look at this. Miss Morgan this morning. Miss Morgan in the morning. Oh man, that actually rhymes. Here we go. She says, it's a process, one step at a time. Yes, absolutely. You're 100% right. It is a process. It is a process of stepping through, of asking these questions. And the thing that I would add to that is it's a process of continuing to work to be transparent. Transparency to yourself. Here's the hardest thing. If you're not willing to be transparent to yourself, if you're not willing to recognize the areas that we need to grow, even to yourself in the mirror, when no one else is looking, if you can't acknowledge that you have a fault and are willing to work on it, then how will we ever get to the place that we want to be if it requires growth that we're not willing to step into? It is a process. It is 100% something, an attitude, and a heart and a mindset that we've got to be able to step into. It really, really is. This morning, hey, again, thank you so much for joining us, Winnin in the Morning right here. Kinsley Jordan, your winning coach, as we do talk through several of these things. If you want more of this content, we are going through a little bit of a remodel over at the Winning Network, just a little bit. But if you want to, you can head on over to thewinningnetwork.com, and just right there, you can sign up and subscribe for winning content daily. All you have to do, there's no fee to subscribing to the blogs and getting notified when we're going live and what that looks like. There's several resources we offer. I'll tell you real quick, the Winning Network is going through growth. It's going through growth and expansion. Oh my gosh, I don't have my sound effects. Hold on. I hate it when I don't have my... No, that was a horse. We're going through growth. Yeah. So good for us. Going through a model, offering some different capabilities for you. So here's what you need to watch out in. We have this super exciting ability for you to jump into, not only be part of what is consistently taking place at the Winning Network. The Winning Network, people ask, hey, what it is? It's literally this. It is a network put together intentionally to be able to help you win, putting you together with other growth-minded individuals. That's right. People that may not be in your sphere of influence, people that may not be anywhere that you normally run around with, or organizations. You know, if you're not used to being on a call with CEOs or CFOs, or if you're not usually on the call with innovation strategists or entrepreneurs or venture capitalists or people who invest into companies that have these entrepreneurial mindsets, if you're not used to being around people that are constantly in this space of growth and challenge and taking you to a next level, let me ask you this. If you look at your 5 closest friends and all of them are operating at the same level of life that you are at, then you need to join the Winning Network. Go there right now, thewinningnetwork.com. You can literally click that, hit the subscribe button. There's no fee. I'm not going to spam you with anything. You know me, Kinsley Jordan, your winning coach. I'm here to be able to help you grow. I'm not here just to sell you on something. The only thing we care about is that you're taking intentional steps of growth in your life to be a whole person in the 5 things we talk about every single time in your body, in your brain, with the bonds relationships that you have in business and in banking, being that well-rounded, all-in individual, all-in recently, partnering with World Harvest Church is awesome, to be completely, totally devoted to growth in your life. And when you grow, when you're committed to growing, when you're committed to jumping in and saying, I'm not going to stay in the same place I've always been, I'm going to step out and I'm going to grow, that is when you have made the growth mindset decision to do something different and step into something different. So join us, literally join us. You can go right there, The Winning Network, thewinningnetwork.com. There's a website. You can see we got a video there. You can subscribe. It's super easy. You just click on that. Boom. Oh, there's a little pop-up sign up. You can literally click that. Oh, that is the subscribe. All it is, boom, name, phone number. What would you like to choose? Sign up for the webinar, the mastermind, or you don't have to select any of those. You can just get subscribed for the content that we have consistently and daily. Several options for you to choose from as you get involved with the Winning Network. So incredibly awesome. We'd love you to. Again, I'll ask you the question. People say, hey, what's the benefit? What is the outline? What do I get from joining? What do I get from being part of it? You get access to people that are not in your network. If you're not in a place, or you're not in a mindset, or you're not, if you don't have the consistent opportunity to be around people who are high-performing individuals, high-speed individuals. One of my friends is going to be on next week with us. Actually, you need to tune in. Tito is who I know him as, but his name is Alejandro. I met him when I was at a squadron officer school with the Air Force. He went on. Was a reservist in the Air Force. Then he was a FedEx pilot. For anybody who's a flyer or anybody who's a pilot out there, a lot of people look at the airlines as this huge opportunity to be able to step into. Well, his opportunity, we got a comment there, Evan Neal. There's so much freedom when you decide to have a growth mindset. Yes, so incredibly true, Evan. So incredibly true. So my friend who's going to be on with us next week, he was flying for FedEx, but he realized, man, there's such a need to be able to help people to identify the value in the gifts and the gift that they have, to be able to help them through this interview process with the military, or this interview process and getting into the airlines. So he started a company, and the company started coaching guys and gals of how to be prepared for your airline interview. It's a big deal to be able to become a pilot in the airlines. That's a massive deal. Like, that's nothing small, because you're looking at a massive paycheck to do what you've consistently been doing, flying people from here to there, or a mission set. So he started a company. It did so incredibly well that it actually it did so incredibly well that the company that he was flying for at the time actually came back and said, listen, you can either do this and lose your job flying for us, or you can fly for us, but you have to stop doing this company. This is what I'm talking about being around growth-minded people. A lot of people would look at this situation. A lot of people would look at that and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm about to lose a job. I'm about to lose this ability, this six-figure job. I'm about to lose this capability of a consistent paycheck and being in this place. I need to go back to where stability is. I need to go back to this mindset. I need to go back to this place that offers this consistency." But he didn't say that. You know why? Is because growth-minded people are constantly looking and weighing the balances, weighing the possibilities of what is going to be good for them long-term versus what's good for them now. A growth-minded person looks at that opportunity and says, okay, I understand that this is consistent, and I understand that this is sustainable, and I understand that this is a paycheck every single day, and I understand that this has great benefits. But how much more benefit does it have to me and my family of building a legacy if I can build a company that continues to grow and it continues to expand out? and I'm not having to go to work for anybody, but I get to wake up and do life for myself and my family every single day. A growth-minded person looks at that opportunity, which is exactly what Tito did. He looked at it and said, no, this is something that God has placed in my heart. I'm not going to run away from this. I'm not going to say no to this. I'm actually going to hang on to this. And he walked away. He walked away from the majors airline job that he had. Now, a lot of people look at that and said, you're nuts. A lot of people look at it and say, oh, Tito, that was such a terrible decision. Why would you do that? I can't believe you left that job. No, that's what a limiting fixed mindset tells you, is you have lost this opportunity and you'll never have another one. The awesome thing is the revelation that Tito had is the revelation that growth-minded people have. Why would I work for someone else if I can do what I love to do, step into the passion, calling, gifting, anointing that God has given me? And if I can make money doing it, why would I not do that for myself and my family? That's exactly what he did. You join the Winning Network to be able to get on phone calls, to be able to get on video calls with guys like this, to be able to hop on calls with people like this. Another one of my friends who I work with, even in my Air Force job, she's going to be on here in a couple weeks, talking about walking out of some serious hurt and pain and frustration, and not only hurt and pain and frustration, but things that have been projected upon you by situations that literally makes you start thinking differently and changing your mindset and belief about yourself. They're going to be on here in a couple of weeks, talking about how to be able to get yourself out of this rut when you have had something spoken over you for so incredibly long. That's why you join the Winning Network, is because we are a network of high-performing individuals that come together to be able to help each other grow. We bring you the resources you're looking for intentional growth mindset each and every day, and it's something you don't want to miss. You know, someday, I'm telling you, someday somebody is going to call me at 580-366-1484. They're going to, I promise you. I would hope that you would. Someday somebody's going to do it. I don't know when, but they're going to. They should, 100%. You also can join us at thewinningnetwork.com. That's where we are subscribed to as well. So, listen, today, it's been great being with you this morning. I hope that you found encouragement throughout the day. I hope that you have found the ability to be able to think differently in your mindset of who you are, of what you're doing, of where you're going, of how you're growing, of how to be able to implement this and put this into your life. Again, I just want to remind you, everything, so many things that we do, so many things that we talk about, literally go back to, for me, my faith. And my faith of who I am, of what I do, of what God has stirred in my life. And here's one of the foundational verses literally that we focus on now, even as we've partnered with several people, partnered with World Harvest Church in Enid, Oklahoma, with the 5 B's, body, brain, bond, business, banking. But here's an amazing verse that really gets down to the nuts and bolts of this. It says, may God himself, the God of peace, sanctify you through and through. And may your whole spirit, soul, and body be kept blameless at the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. When you look at that. May your whole soul, or your whole spirit, soul, and body. And then it goes on to say, the one who calls you is faithful, and he will do it. So here's the reminder today. As we piece out of here, we've been talking about the growth mindset, what it takes to be able to do it. If you're just joining us, go back and watch this, because we're going to have this for you. It's going to be right here, live stream for you. Or it's going to be back where you can get to it. But here's the deal. If that last verse 24, where it says the one who calls you is faithful, meaning God is faithful, and he'll do it, meaning he will keep you as a whole person, spirit, soul, and body, kept blameless. The question is, will you do it? If God will do it, if your creator will do it, will you do it? Will you step into being whole in these 5 areas of your body, these 5 areas of your mind, these 5 areas: body, brain, bond, business, and banking? Will you invest into yourself? If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's okay. Go to thewinningnetwork.com. You can literally join us there. I'll send you the information. You could subscribe, and tell you what, I'll send you this free booklet. It's called The New Me in 63. I send it to you totally free. It's your ability to step into and change your life in 63 days, building a new habit. Do it now. Just go to thewinningnetwork.com. You can click subscribe. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you real fast. Here's the website. Boom. All you got to do is go down here, click this little black button, subscribe, fill in your information. We will get you content each and every day. If you don't know what Clubhouse is, don't worry about it. You'll get the notes for it. So friends, today, on this beautiful Thursday morning, wherever you're at. Listen, thanks so much for being with us right here, Winning in the Morning with Kinsley Jordan, your winning coach. We'll see you next week. Here's some exciting news. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to see you right here, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can't miss it. Don't miss it. Put it on your calendar. Join us. Share it with your friends. Let people know we are here to help you. We're here to help you grow. And that's what you can expect right here from the Winning Network each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're expanding out. We're growing. Stick with us. Thanks, friends. Have a great day. Again, we'll see you, thewinningnetwork.com. Join us, subscribe. We'll see you there. Have a growth mindset today. Don't get limited. Don't get fixed. Don't be anything other than growing and expanding. So we'll see you, friends. Have a great day.